Wade Blevins, Dawadon, Jalagiga, Tino, Unole, Dawadon, Galiele, Negachi Jado Kohig. My name is Wade Blevins, and I'm really glad that you're here joining us on Cherokee 3 at RSU TV. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about possums, and we're going to look at some more, maybe the second verse of one of the hymns in the Cherokee singing book from 1846. So hopefully everyone is enjoying their language learning journey. So without further ado, come. Okay. So, kohig skohine jalagia de lo quasti. Today is our 10th Cherokee lesson. So we're almost a quarter of the way through. Okay, so as I said, actually, hang on just a second. These two are transposed. So there we go. Now I got it fixed. Looks like. Yes. Okay. So if you will remember, when we were last talking, we talked about this hymn called Come Ye Disconsolate, and we talked about the history of it. We talked about where it came from, and how it kind of came to be translated into the Cherokee language. By two men, Samuel Wooster and Mr. Foreman, and it's really kind of a pretty song, but it's not one that I've ever heard in Cherokee. If you have heard it in Cherokee, I would love to hear your story. You know what church or what service. You've heard this, because I never had, and none of the speakers that I am close to had ever heard it either. So that it's an old hymn, but it's not a hymn that's been used very much. And so this is the very first verse. We did it last time, so let's practice reading in syllabary, and as you can see, there are two verses in the song. So we'll go through the first verse today, and then we'll go ahead and do the second verse. So let's read. It says, U yo I jadanti na ku e jena. So u yo, bad, I jadanti, you feel. So those of you that feel bad, naigu ejena, now go. Naigu, now. Ejena, you go. I jaguya hahi. I jaguyu. I jaguya hahi. He paid for you. Eji luchi. Come to him. Na ski uwasahiyu geji na wodi, that you may come to him alone. Nigata uyo ijadante, all of you who feel bad. And remember, I mentioned that after I worked on this song in Cherokee, or after I worked on this song in the Cherokee singing book and did the arrangement and everything, I then went on popular video format and looked for the song in English. And they had it in English, but none of the arrangements that I came across was arranged quite this way. The way that it's arranged, it starts out as a solo, and then it repeats the last half of the song then as a trio or as a semi-chorus. So I think that that's really, really interesting, and I would love to know whether this was something that Lowell Mason, his own arranging of the song, or if this was, how it was commonly done when he was alive. I just have lots of questions that I guess no one can probably answer. So anyway, but we'll go ahead and I'll sing the first verse for you. So it says, Uyo ija danti Nagu ejena ijaguyahi hejiluji naski uwasayu gejina wodi nigada uyo ijadandai. Okay? And then again, if you're going to do it and add the trio or the semi-chorus, then once again, it starts there at the naski. You can see naski, uwasa hiu, geji na wodi. Okay, so then they just repeat it one more time, except that they've blown it all out into different parts, which I think is pretty cool. Excuse me. So that's the first verse of the song. And hang on just a second, I need to grab my my notebook. So I'm going to grab my notebook. Because, of course, I'm not properly prepared. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the second verse, okay? So that's the one, of course, that starts with 2, right? Fairly easy. So it says, e jena, e jena. So we've learned that one already. It means come. It means you all come. E jena, you know. Tlegi you, tlegi you. Okay, so come soon. E ji skana jahi. All of you who are sinners, okay? That's what E.G. Skanajahi means. That uskanaja, or that word means to do somebody wrong, or to do something wrong. And I think you've heard Miss Peggy and I talking about how Dennis Sixkiller, who has a radio show, in Cherokee, whenever he calls basketball games, he uses this word to mean to make a foul against somebody. So it's kind of funny to hear it in Cherokee for a speaker, you know, because it brings up this thought of, you know, sinning or doing someone wrong or that kind of thing. You know, and so means all of you who are sinners. So. But Dennis Sixkiller uses that word to talk about when somebody makes a foul against somebody else. So that's where that word comes from. So it says je no tle gi yu I ji ska ne hi. Okay, je no tle gi yu I ji ska ne hi. Ji sa galoneda ji lu chi. Okay, so we have this word ji sa. It's a cognate. It's a cognate for the word Jesus, of course. Galoned, Lord Jesus. Ji lu chi. Come. So you, plural, you all come to Lord Jesus. Giga galag wodi uje woje lahi. Okay. Giga. This is the first time I've ever seen the word spelled this way with a ga, and so it took me a while to kind of figure out what it meant. Giga. Nowadays, most Cherokee speakers say giga, okay? And you know the word gigage, which means red, and you may know the word giga, which means blood. Giga, galagwodi means beloved or sacred, holy, something that's special, okay? Uje woje lahi. So that word means he spilled it on the ground, okay? So he spilled his sacred blood. Gejo suled ijis kana jahi. So again, we have this word again, ijis kana jahi, you sinners. And then gejo suledi. Gejo suledi means to clean something. It means to clean it or to wipe it clean, to wipe it off. So he's made it clean. He's made you sinners clean. So that's what that line means. So it says, Ejena tleki yu, iji skana jahi, ji sa galoneta, eji luchi, giga galagwodi, uje woje lahi, uje woje lahi, gejo suled, iji skana jahi. Okay? So that's how the second verse goes. And so we'll go ahead and I'll try to sing it for you in syllabary. So this is really a good test for me because a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, whenever I'm asked to sing for different things and stuff, a lot of times I will rewrite the sound, the syllabary phonetics underneath, just because I can read it faster. And when you're singing, speed sometimes is key, because then you're trying to figure out, is that whoa, is that caw, is that, whatever. But I will do my best to read it in the syllabary as it is written, because I don't have it on my notebook. So we'll do our best, and we'll see how it goes, right? So then the second verse says, Ejena tlegiu iji skana jadi ji sagaloneda Jiluchi Gigagala Godi Ujewo Jelahi Gejo Suledi Iji Skanaja. Okay, so that didn't go too bad. I just messed up there on one character, this one right here. Because it's written so small, I thought it was D, not he. So I kind of messed that one up. So let's try the second verse one more time. And see if you can follow along. You probably can't read it on the original page, but you can, let's see if we can do it on with the larger, okay? So it says, Echena klegiu Ijiskana jahi Chisagalonedam Ejiluchi Gigagalo Godi Ujewo Jelahi Gejo Suledi Iji Skanaja. Okay. This final E, I went ahead and took off because to me, it fits better in the song, and this is very, very common in our hymns. Sometimes you leave sounds off to make it fit in the hymn. So that's what I did there. And some other singers might make that, instead of a half note, they might make that 2/4 notes or something to get all those sounds in there. But that final E doesn't really have to be in the word in order for it to be understood. So this is the hymn, Come Ye Disconsolate, in Cherokee, 2 verses. And hopefully, those of you who are far better singers than I am will bring this song back, and you can start doing it for specials and singing it, and I hope to hear some of you singing these songs. Hymn singing is really a great way to get started in the language. There's a connection in our brains with language and music. They're very, very closely tied, and I think there's something almost fundamental or primordial about that, because when you think about all cultures, all religions, all philosophies and things like that, singing and song and music is a very, very important part of every culture. And I think one of the reasons why is it helps aid in memory, especially in cultures where writing is not extremely common, or maybe not as widespread. Putting things to music helps us remember them so that we can pass them down to future generations. Our brains are kind of wired this way, and so why don't we use that internal wiring that we already have to help us learn new vocabulary? So that's why I incorporate a lot of songs in my language teaching, because it's really, really a great way to remember or to learn a language. And of course, we have lots and lots of hymns in Cherokee. Many of them are very, very common and well known. You can listen to the Cherokee Children's Choir. There's some great recordings out there, and you can learn songs. And if you can learn then what the words mean, not only will the songs mean more to you, but that will help you improve your language learning. All right? So, moving on. So now we're talking about the possum. We've been talking about him for a while now, and we're going to see what else we can learn about this little guy. So here, this should all be review, so just follow along. You can either follow and read if you want to use the slides in that way, or you can just listen and see if you can pick out what each of the words means, or you can listen to the entire sentence and see if you can picture what the entire sentence is saying. So there are lots of different ways to use these. Okay, it says ujetsti kaya sole adaleniska gani da dai iganahid jo gatu jo skohi galgogi isitadisti. Okay? Ujetsti kaya soli adaleniska gani data iganahid jogatu joskohi galgogi isitadisti. And of course you can see the English down there if you need it to help you. The next one. Gani data uye le ha ale gana hi sa so nele ale so nela du isi tadisti. Okay, gani data uye le ha ale gana hi sa so nele ale so nela du isi tadisti. Okay. Do one gutla. Notice I don't say ni here. Do one gutla. Ale judalenta or judalenti or judalenad gohusti. Yigagwenan kani data. Okay, so let's try that again. So once again, when we're reading in syllabary, sometimes we have to play around with the words. We have to leave sounds out. We have to kind of mull it around in our mouth a little bit in order for it to make sense. So do one gatla ale judalenta gohusti yigagwenan gani data. Okay, yigagwenan is it can rap. Okay, juwan gatla, that's branches. Ale judalenta gohusti, various other things. Yigakwenan kanidata, the tail can wrap around them. Okay? All right, this little guy. Ganake uskola junal suit ale usti da ni lil go. Okay, again, this says da ni lil go. Okay, da ni lil go. Da ni lil go. Okay, ganege uskola junal suit ale usti da ni lil go. He has gray color and he has small ears. Okay, higskohi ego danino danin doko ale ganege diniktole. Okay, so if you'll notice, let's kind of take a couple minutes. Higskohi. 50. Ego is a quantifying word. It's like kind of like saying 50 of them. Okay. Danin do go. Okay, that's teeth. Ale ganage di ni ga do li. But we say dinik tole, his eyes. Okay, then si qua ujetsti marsupials dano se hon anid gan no dani no don hon. Okay. So si qua ujetsti marsupials dano se hon. They're called marsupials. Okay. Anid, that means a young animal. Gano dani, in a pouch. Danin don hon, they carry them around. Okay. Juna dlo, this is dlo here. Don't see that one a whole lot. Juna dloyi, Jun tloyi. Go ala, yona, ale, udla, wada, ujetsti. Okay. Jun tloyi, go ala yon, ale, udlawad, ujetsti. So possums are similar to koala bears and kangaroos. Okay, so this is goala yon, and this is udlawad. Okay, so ujetsti, unasa, marsupials. Misspelled marsupials. Let's fix that. It's bothering me. Okay. So, ujetsti unasa marsupials ane amayetli juhudla. And we talked about this word, amayetli. We talked about how it means among the waters, but we also use that to refer to America, amayetli. It's a fairly easy word to remember, I think, because it sounds a little bit similar to America, amayetli, America, a little bit similar. But we also talked about the older connotation of this word, and how we have traditional stories that refer to amayetli. Okay, ujetsti unasa marsupials ane amayetli juhudla. Juhudla means cold. It can also mean north, because of course in the north is where it's cold. Okay. Ujetsti inage ane hon ale senoi a inagogon. Okay. Ujetsti inage ane hon. So they typically live in the woods. Ale senoi. And at night, go go. They come out and walk around. Okay, go go go. Go go. Dale e. Dani. Oh, Dani li don hon. Al se skino. Ga don. Squoo. Uni lunk di. Ne da sti. Okay, del e. Dani li don hon. Al se skino. Ga don. Squoo. Uni lunk di. Ne da sti. Okay, so it says trees, they typically climb, but also as well, on the ground, they like to go around. Okay, they like to move around on the ground as well. And then it says, U scanole ge son. U scanole ge son. So they are typically slow, okay? And then we talked about this one here, right? Uni lunk di, uni gisti, kanu gotli, right there. Kuwa, right there. Un sugi. Unasugi, there. Sunk ta, right there. G, oh, tskoya, over here. Judalane, oh, tskoya, judalane, different kinds of bugs. Junesti, G, squaw, here. Jewage, right there. Walos, here. Tio hotly, right here. Ale, G-stun, right there. So hopefully you can learn all of these words. These are all very common nouns, and these can all come in handy, right? Kanu katli, kuwa, unasugi, sunkta, junsti, chi squat, G-stun, walos, tskoya, jewage, or uwage in this case, because there's only one in the nest, tiohat. So those are all different kinds of things that a possum eats. And then here, ujeti, unilukti, they like. Uyojin, gi, that should be tli. Gitli, unigist, ale, uli hoja, ganatla'i, or ehnai, ju kol, danigi skon. All right, and we talked about this as well. We talked about ganatla and ehnai. Depending on who you talk to, there will be speakers that use ganatla for any kind of animal. There will be other speakers that will differentiate, and they will say ganatla are for domesticated animals and ehnai are for wild animals, because that ehnai, it kind of indicates that they're out there, okay? They're not closely associated with human beings, okay? Ju kol, right? We talked about that. Uyo zhi, trash. Gitli, that should be tli, not g. Gitli, unigist, dog food. Then it says, it says here, Duni jaliti, Duni jalti, Gook, Dani Gishka. Okay, they know they gook, ticks, right? They're well known for eating ticks. So that's one of the upsides of possums, is that they eat ticks. Duni jalti kuki dani gishka. So they like to eat ticks. So all of this is review, but I wanted to take a little bit of time and go through with you all of this again, because you can't go too slow, right? Even when you think you know it, the more you hear it, the more, the easier it will be for you to understand what's being said. So with that, why don't we just play a little game, not only for you, but for myself as well. And I will move to a random, I'll move to a random slide. We'll move to a random word, and we'll see if we can figure out what the word means. So we'll play a little game for a little while, okay? So, okay. So, katohyat yonegagant, katohyat yonegagant. How do you say in English? Dinik tole, dinik tole, dinik tole. Katohyat yonegagant, dinik tole. And that's, they have eyes, right? Dinik tole, they have eyes. Okay, katohyat yonegagant. Oh, yikakwe nun, yikakwe nun, yikakwe nun, katohyat, yikakwe nun. Okay, so that means it can rap, right? It can rap. Yikakwe nun. Then what about Dano se hon, dano se hon, dano se hon, is they call them, or they say about them, they tell about them, right? Dano se hon, they tell them. And oh, what about Gowala yon, Gowala yon, Katohyat Gowala yon, Katohyat Gowala yon. It's a panda bear, or a koala bear, not a panda bear. Koala bear, koala bear here. And then what about Udlawad, Udlawad, Udlawad is a kangaroo. What about the word uyela, huh? Uyela, huh? Uyela, huh? Uyela, huh? Naked, naked. What about sohnela du? Sohnela du? Sohnela du? Katohyat? Sohnela du yonekigat? 19. Okay. Katohyat yonekigat adaleniska, adaleniska, adaleniska. Katohyat adaleniska yonekigat. At the beginning, adaleniska, where it began. Okay, in this case, be the base here. What about inagei, inagei, Katohyat inagei. Yonegigant. Katohyat inagei. Yonegigant. Okay. Means in the woods or in the wild. Katohyat yonegigant sanoyi. Katohyat sanoyi. Yonegigant. Katohyat sanoyi. Yonegigant. At night. Sanoyi. At night. Katohyat ju kol. Katohyat ju kol. Yonegigant. Katohyat ju kol. Yonegigant. Katohyat ju kol. Yonegigant. Bones. Good. Okay, ju kol. Katohyat guk. Katohyat guk. Katohyat guk. Ticks. Good. Katohyat tskoya. Katohyat tskoya. Or tskoi. Katohyat tskoi. Bugs. Katohyat kuwa. Katohyat kuwa. Katohyat kuwa. Mulberry. Katohyat judalen. Judalena. Judalena. Katohyat judalena yonegigant. Katohyat judalena yonegigant. Means different ones or different kinds. Judalenti, judalena, right? Katohyat delka. Katohyat delka. Delka. Trees. Delka. Katohyat unasa. Katohyat unasa. Unasa. Unasa means only or alone, right? Unasa, they are alone or they are only. Okay? Katohyat ane. Katohyat ane. Katohyat ane. Ane. Ane means they are there, they exist, they live. You can kind of translate that a lot of different ways. Katohyat juhyud. Katohyat juhyudla. 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 North. North. Or cold. You could also use that to mean cold. Katohyat amayetli. Katohyat amayetli. Amayetli. America, or among the waters, right? It's a contraction of two words, meaning water, and ayetli, meaning half or in among them, that kind of thing. Okay? Katohyat danililko. Katohyat danililko. Danililko. Danililko means ears. It's talking about he has, they have ears, right? They have ears. Katohyat duwan gatla. Katohyat duwan gatla. Duwan gatla. Duwan gatla. Branches. Katohyat kaya sol. Gdohiat kaya sole. Gdohiat kaya sole. Kaya sole, that's nose. Kaya sol, nose. So in this lesson, we've learned quite a few body parts. We learned tail, nose, eyes, ears. Lots of different. Here, let's go back to this. Gdohiat ijis kana jahi. Ijis kana jahi. Okay, it means all of you sinners, right? All of you who have done wrong, right? What about ejena? Ejena. That's a really, really good word to learn. Ejena. Ejena means you all, plural, come here. Okay, you've probably heard if you've been around Cherokee speakers or you had a Cherokee speaker for a parent or a grandparent, they'll say ehena or they'll say tena, right? Ehena or tena. That means you come here, right? Ejena means all of you here. Ejena, right? So that's a really good one to know, especially if you're a parent. So you can say ehena if you only have one kid or one person that you're talking to, or you can say ejena, all of you. Okay? So let's see, what else? Let's go back to some of those things that they eat. And let's see how you've done. So what about Getohiat walos? Getohiat walos? Walos? Frog. Getohiat kanugutli? 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 Blackberry. Getohiat uhnasug? Uhnasug? Wild grapes. All right? Okay, so we just have a couple minutes left, and so hopefully you've enjoyed this review, kind of giving your brain a break a little bit, but we're still moving forward, right? And the more you listen to it, the better you get, the more you learn. I hope that you find it helpful to you, and from all of us here at RSU TV, we just want to say thank you, wadon, and don dago ha'i.